So we're using Progymnasmata, and it's has concepts from IEW. So if you're familiar with IEW, it'll be familiar to you. But you actually we just make the packets ourselves, and it.
Where did you get the materials? And
we stole it from Geneva in Orlando, just the idea of doing it, but then it's up to the teacher to make the packet themselves. So the hardest part is finding a model that you want to imitate and then rewrite. And so in first grade they're doing a fable by Aesop, and so when you read the fable, you have to find something that's it helps if it's a little below their reading level. So it's easy for them to read.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a section, you analyze the text by going through and marking where the sentences start and stop, and the punctuation, and finding the subject and the verb in all the sentences. So really just spending a lot of time just reading it and analyzing it. And then they copy it for accuracy on punctuation and capitalization. And then they go through a vocabulary exercise where this is all about the word brag. And they say the part of speech, they use the word brag in a sentence, they give the definition, and they come up with substitutions. So words that you could use instead of brag, because you're moving toward rewriting the summary or the model. And so you want to go ahead and come up with ideas of words that you could substitute for brag, which in IEW would be like the strong verbs they use. So then they do boast and pause. We also will.
And are your teachers trained in IEW so that they know to use the word strong?
Yes,
verb?
yes. But what we've taken from IEW is we've taken the dress-ups, the openers, and the decorations, which are concepts they use in IEW, and we've kind of sprinkled them through the Pro Gym. So then we say, well, in these grades, you should be able to do these dress-ups and these openers. Now, we'll introduce a lot of the dress-ups, openers, and decorations, but only require them to be mastered at certain grades. And I can give you a table where we laid all that out. And then we'll also, when we do the vocabulary, we'll often do the words on the board, and we'll go ahead and spell them like using the spell to write and read. So when we're doing vocabulary for the word steady, we would go ahead and say stead, it. And so we would go ahead and have them analyze them spelling wise too.
Why is it and not e?
It at the end, because the vowel is y, I, and the y is y, I, and y is its consonant sound. I and I are its vowel sounds, and so you just think to spell it instead of e. It's one of those irritating exception things.
That is an exception. Yeah. So why don't we add e? I wondered about.
I don't know. I don't know why, but the kids are really used to it, so it's like we say to do that, and then it seems to make sense to them, and so we just keep. I mean, it works.
But you could actually add e to the sound.
You could.
Okay.
So here's quality adjectives. So here are the sentences, and they've underlined the nouns. And so the idea is then to practice putting a quality adjective in front of that noun. So you would say, all the glorious animals in the dense forest gathered to watch, or something like that. And they practice writing that sentence. Then here's the because clause, which is also an IEW element. So slow and steady walked because he was tired, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then keyword outline. So then this is very IEW if you're used to that. You would go back to the model, and then for sentence 1, which we usually underline in alternating colors, so we'd underline this one in red, and then underline this one in blue, just so it makes it really clear where the sentence changes. And so if there once was a speedy hare who bragged about how fast he could run, you pick 3 words: hare bragged fast, or hare bragged run, or whatever would make you remember that sentence. So they do 3 words per sentence, and they use this to rewrite it, in their own words, and hopefully,
because otherwise they are going to end up using exactly the same
just
words.
copying
They don't know how to do.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they use their keyword outline to rewrite it, and then hopefully what they do is they use some of the quality adjectives and the because clause and the synonym substitutions that they came up with in the packet in their rewrite.
Now, are they allowed to look at that?
We let them peek, which means that you can look at the model as long as you're not holding your pencil. So you can put your